This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Well, welcome to tonight's AnCan meeting. So nice to see you all. And I know so many of us know each other, but I see Sharon is new, and I don't believe I've met you before, Sharon. If you feel comfortable, would you like to introduce yourself to the group?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
So I'm Sharon Brody, and I've been doing art classes with Hannah on here for a while. I've had MS for maybe 10 years, and I don't know. I've had a bad day, so I just was curious to see what y'all talked about.
Excellent. And Sharon, thank you for joining us. We're happy you're here. What state are you from?
Oh, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, well, thank you. And do you need any time to talk about what's going on with you tonight, or you just want to listen and chime in as needed?
I'm just happy to listen.
All
Thank you.
right. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're happy you're here.
Thanks.
Sharon, just tell us a little bit about your MS history. What you said for 10 years. Are you on any drugs? And by the way, Hannah will be back. She just went off to finish dinner, and she's coming into the meeting tonight.
I'm on Briumvi.
Ooh.
I just started it, and I haven't decided if I like not having to go every month to the doctor because I was on Tysabri. I have relapse remitting MS, and what was your other question? I forgot.
Okay.
I have MS, so the memory.
We get you.
We get it.
Rick was just asking just to know a little bit more about you. So, are you seeing a neurologist, or do you go to an MS specialty clinic?
It is an MS specialty clinic. It's the MS Center of Atlanta. Or
Okay.
actually, they just changed their name to Atlanta Neuroscience Institute. But they do specialize in MS patients. Um, and it's nice because they have their infusion center right there as well. So
Well,
everything's
nice.
all together. Yeah.
That's good. And now we're just going to go around the room,
And
Sharon.
Jennifer, let me just stick for a second, and then before you go around the room, you when Sharon shared what drug she was on, there was a sort of an acknowledgement from you. What caused that response? Or maybe you have some questions for Sharon as we get into this today
Yeah.
about that drug, right?
Yes, that was actually what I was going to when it became my time. I was going to say that I wanted to ask you, Sharon, about Briumvi because I'm a person living with secondary progressive MS, and I believe Briumvi is indicated for that. And I was just going to ask you about how you're tolerating it and if you like it. But I wanted to go around and get everybody
Okay.
introduced before I
Okay.
start asking. So I'm going to shoot over to John if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm John. I live in Michigan. I was diagnosed in 2016. I have relapsing remitting, and I'm currently on Zeposia. Yeah, that one. I do need a couple minutes to talk, but just random news to catch everyone up.
Okay, so you just want to catch up. You don't need any particular time.
I do have one little issue to talk about, but
All right.
yeah, just real quick though.
Okay.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. And then Christy, would you go ahead and give everybody your details.
Hi, I'm Christy. I now reside in Phoenix, Arizona. I moved here the week of Thanksgiving, missing Colorado. Well, anyway, I digress. um, I have a secondary progressive. I was diagnosed back in 2003. Um, I am currently on Ocrevus, and yes, I would like some time to talk tonight.
All right, excellent.
And
And
Christy, did you bring this cold weather to southern Arizona from Colorado? Was it you? Are you the one to blame for this?
No, my stepdad tried to blame me for it, but it's all the snowbirds that came down from Colorado.
Okay.
It's not
Okay.
just me.
Okay.
In Canada.
excellent.
I meant to.
And hey, Louie, how are you? Long time no see.
I know. I'm good. It's nice to see y'all.
Nice to
So
see you.
yeah. So I'm Louis from San Antonio, Texas. I kind of just not kind. I mean, so November I passed my third year with relapsing remitting. I'm on Ocrevus, and I think those are the questions. Yeah, and maybe a few minutes, but yeah, other than that, it's nice to see y'all.
Excellent. It's good to see you. And now, Carmen, it's also good to see you. And now, will you go ahead and introduce?
Thank you. Hi, it's good to see all of you guys too. I'm Carmen from Canada. I have primary progressive MS. I was diagnosed in 2013, and I was on Ocrevus until starting a randomized control trial in September, I think it was. So I'm maybe on placebo, or I may be on, oh shoot, tech, something. I don't know what it is right now. Starts with a T. If Rick was here, he'd say it, but because he probably knows, it's a medication that's been used successfully with relapsing remitting. So there aren't very many studies for primary progressive MS, and I'm happy to be involved in one. I'm not thrilled that it's a randomized control trial because that's a lot of time and energy because I go back and forth to Vancouver every 3 months. So I live in Kelowna. It's about, well, if you were just a normal person driving in a car that could just go into a gas station and use the washroom and carry on, it would take maybe 3.5 hours. But when you're a person that is in a wheelchair, in a disability van, and various other things, it takes 5 hours probably because it's right at the end of Vancouver, like it's at UBC, it's the University of British Columbia. And so it's quite a commitment, and I have to go there every 3 months. Every 6 months is an MRI, and so far I don't feel any real changes. I've been having a bit of a challenging fall, not gonna lie. Autumn, not fall. I didn't fall, not lately anyway.
Good.
So I would like a little bit of time. Sorry, I've gone a little bit
Oh,
over my
no,
introduction.
that's okay. Well, thank you. And now, Andrea, would you like to go? And
Yes,
am
I'm
I saying
Andrea.
you? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is it Andrea or is it Andrea?
My mom says Andrea.
Okay. Well, yeah, I just wanted to make sure because I always say Andrea, and if I'm saying your name, I had a job and somebody called me Julie for probably 6 months and I never corrected her. And so I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And so I'm sorry. Go ahead, Andrea.
I have some weird issues over my life with names. I used to work with this guy
And I mean, I saw him every day, talked to him every day, and in my head, his name was Stephen. I to this day don't know what his actual name was. I called him Stephen. He corrected me, and I continued to call him Stephen. It's weird. Anyway, my name is Andrea. I live on the Outer Banks in North Carolina. I have MS. I'm on Ocrevus. Uh, I'm really tired. I don't know how long I'll last tonight. Um, and I don't need time, I don't think.
Thank you for joining us. And Hannah, are you done making dinner, or do you want to introduce yourself now or later? Okay, I'm assuming Hannah's still making dinner. So, John, do you want to start first with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. What about Miss Jennifer?
Oh, well, I've been blah, blah, blahing this entire time. Sorry. I'm Jennifer. I'm also from Michigan. I have secondary progressive MS, and I would like a little time tonight. So, oh, there's Hannah. So
Hi,
now
y'all.
that I went, would you like to introduce yourself, Hannah?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Well, if you don't know me already, my name is Hannah. I've been diagnosed with MS since 2017. Yeah. So yeah, I guess this is going on my 7th year, maybe 8th year. I don't know. Yeah, I'm here in San Antonio, Texas, and I teach the art classes here. So hello, everyone.
And would you like time tonight?
Yeah, why not? Sure.
I love it.
Hey, Sharon. Good to see you. And Louie. Hello, Louie. We're in the same city.
Excellent. Okay, John, sorry. You want to go ahead?
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
This is a question that seems really funny to me right now. When you hear the question, did I have ADHD the last time that we met?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the diagnosis was there. It wasn't just like it just showed up. Cool. So the diagnosis come in. They have put me on a medicine, and according to my psychiatrist, it is the shittiest one they have out there. But they have to go through this one to find out for the one that's right for me.
Which one is it?
Did you say been there, done that with multiple sclerosis?
No,
Which
it's
one is it?
it's blah 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 blah, and too small of a print. It is too small of a print, but so it's good that my psychiatrist and my primary care doctor talking about what that medicine is going to be, and my primary care actually started me on that medicine, and now I am going to see that psychiatrist every Monday from now on, which means I have to fire my therapist tomorrow.
Ooh.
That doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good at all.
Well, you just got
I'm
a normal cold,
nervous,
aren't you
but
really?
it's right for me because I know that there's an actual thing, and yes, I need therapy, but my medical doctor will help take care of that now. You know, and if anyone remembers when I took the test, I really liked that guy, and I was really hoping like maybe he can be my doctor. Like I like this guy, you know. And so when we talked on Monday, that was only yesterday. He said, "Yeah, let's get you. How do you feel about 10 a.m. on Friday?" And I started laughing. I was like, "No, but like really, how do you feel about that?" Like I'd rather do it. I said I'd rather do it after school than before school. So we meet at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which is fine. But telehealth, so I don't have to go anywhere, you know, which is
Good.
nice. But yeah, it's better for me. But we all know.
John,
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry. Aren't you just putting your current therapist on hold, though? You're not firing them, right? Like, if you needed them, you could call them, get back in touch with them or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, but not as a patient, I can't reach out to her for as long as I've been a patient of hers. So I've been a patient of her for 6 years. I know, it was a
You have to
weird
wait
thing.
6 years
She
till you
brought
can
it
reach out
up.
again?
I didn't bring it up. But
Maybe
I
a loss. Why? Why can't you reach out to her? That is strange.
but why would I see
Yeah, that seems
someone
crazy.
for 1 hour every other week than 1 hour every week? I feel like we're really going to do the same things. And I have been in this person for 6 whole years. And sometimes you get to know so much about each other and you're not really focused on what's going on. And sometimes you just take like 20 minutes of every session, like really make sure
Yeah.
what streaming service, like show you're up on. You know, like we all know which Star Trek we're both on
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Because I need a shake up because of new diagnosis. I need a shake up.
Hmm.
Still feels weird though.
Yeah. And I'm just asking, not like accusatory, just curious. Is it like, do you wonder why you're like this new doctor found the ADHD and the therapist you were seeing didn't, or is it not like,
Okay. When I talked about ADHD with my therapist, she said, John, I thought you were already diagnosed when we started working together and that you just weren't talking about it. The same with Melissa. I thought you've always had ADHD and you just never talked about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then
I didn't know, but
uh,
everybody else could see.
yeah, Hannah, let me fill you in really quickly. I had 2 neuropsych evaluations in the past 3 years that they should have picked up on the ADHD.
Wow. Okay.
So I went to this new doctor and I had the testing with it. And like 20 minutes, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, I can diagnose you right now. Like, not even a challenge. I'm surprised that your doctors have missed it. I'm surprised that, honestly, John, that you weren't diagnosed when you were a kid, because I know all of the trauma around it, not just the, um, you know, the word I'm trying to say, right? That I'm struggling because I don't remember what it was. Symptom. Yeah,
Symptoms, you
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. And he's really willing to play the game that you guys know that I love. Is it MS or is it something else? Guess
that
what? It's something else.
Uh-huh.
Something that's very common in people with MS, or it tends to get gradually worse because, you know, cognitive stuff falling, things like that. But you guys know I do love to play, is it MS or is it something else? Because something else is pretty treatable somehow. You know?
Fun disease. It's like a
Such a
game of
fun game.
bingo. Like, which is it? Is it
Yeah.
MS?
Yeah.
Is it like
Today.
yeah, it's like a different bingo card every day.
So I have been put on a new medicine, which, another new medicine, right?
yeah.
But they took me off of medicine, which for me, fair deal. You put me on one, you take me off of one. I got taken off of metformin. For those that don't know, it is the medicine that people with diabetes take for the rest of their lives. And my diabetic number is so damn good that my doctor said, "Don't ever take it again. You're fine.
Awesome.
You're on the Ozempic, and you're
Wow.
keeping it
That's
right there, and
awesome.
everything's fine."
Wow.
So add a medicine, take away a medicine, feels good.
Yeah. And I hear it's the new
Yeah, good work.
drug now. So
Here's what?
I hear it's the new it drug now, Ozempic.
Yeah, yeah. There's a couple other ones
Yeah.
that are generics, but yeah.
You're hit.
But yeah, metformin, it's something that I thought I would just have to take 1,000 milligrams every day for the rest of my life, but we're gonna give it a whirl and a trial, and if anything I like more than anything else is a trial. Being a scientist, seeing what will happen. So, yeah. And of course, the academic cynic in me So they're like, oh, this psychiatrist has never had a patient with both MS and ADHD before. And he's kind of new on the block. You know, he want to make a name for himself, so he takes me. Of course, negative self-talk, cynic about the academics.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm sure he wants to keep Danita in because they'll both co-sponsor a paper together and present it. But then again, if they do that, then I'm the patient, and I would waive all HIPAA rights to be like, no, you're naming me in that magazine because I did a thing. You know, as an academic myself, I see that in that. Like, oh gosh,
Makes you
wouldn't that make
feel
a
any
great
better,
paper?
John? Sorry, go ahead.
I said, oh man, that'd be a good paper, like a paper on the hero cycle and professional wrestling as it fits in society in 2085. Like, what's the future of it? Stuff that academics talk about that don't really fucking matter.
Is that why the random title, John?
Yeah, the random title. Random research titles. They're always good. Mine was on the depiction of dinosaurs in children's books. Colon. Why are dinosaurs always living by erupting volcanoes?
Oh, good question.
So it turned into both a scientific question and then an academic question about children's lit, which not all of you know, but my wife, Melissa, has a PhD in children's lit. So he co-presented a paper.
That's so cute. That's so
Yeah.
cute.
So can I ask you a question, John?
Yeah.
Does the ADHD, does it affect your MS at all, or is there any like correlation between the two?
I would say it's too early because we don't know if we've effectively treated my ADHD yet.
Okay.
You know, like the one that I'm on, is it like actually doing anything, or is it placebo because I want it to help so bad? And things that I hear from some friends are, well, you know, I took it and it wasn't anything. Like, it wasn't anything that like just a normal good day would produce. You know, when everything's kind of going well, you know, that kind of stuff. So I'm hopeful. All right, remember, guys, I'm hopeful, and I really do think that this is a good thing for the stuff, being all that.
That was going to be my next question, so that's really good.
Yeah, tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Well, good luck.
I just know it's better for me. But
It's just restarting with someone and kind of going back to some old, potentially going back to some old stuff that you might have left behind. So there's like potential for a lot of emotions there, you know. I'll be thinking of you, John.
Thank you.
Tomorrow at 2.
Is that Central
sorry,
Time,
that'll
or
be
what is
Eastern
that?
Standard Time. So I'll shoot you a message about 12:15. No, you're on that side of Canada.
Yeah, on the other side.
Yeah. It'd be 9:15.
Well, John,
Yeah, well, you'll have
if it makes you feel
now.
better,
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with ADHD this year too.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations, I guess. Do they tell you the exact same things? Like, just do better at keeping a journal or a notebook. Like,
Well, yeah, and
I got
so
here with ADHD because I can't keep a calendar.
yeah, exactly. When I say that, or no, when they say that, I tell them, "Oh yes, I've done that, and I've done this, and I've done that, and I've this, and that, and it doesn't work. So can you help me?
Yeah, like, could you
Can you help
teach
me be
me?
better?"
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of trial and error. It's very frustrating. Yeah, it's
But
very
I'm here
frustrating.
for the long haul. And Hannah, I did send you a Facebook message about some art that I'm doing.
Yeah,
I just wanted
that's
to
great.
let you know about it, but it's not. It's just something I didn't want to take time away from a chat while we were just talking. So
Yeah. You got some jelly rolls. I love it. Yeah,
I'm
let's
building my
chat
own
about
page.
that. That's exciting. I love it. Jennifer, I didn't want to interrupt you. I thought I'd heard you say something. I think it was Jennifer. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you say something? Because I know I interjected, so I didn't want to
No.
you.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
It might have been me. I was wondering what the symptoms of ADHD are.
There's so many of them, from what I understand, that I just went in like, okay, so I lose track of my train of thoughts. I mean, you guys saw it happen mid-sentence like a minute ago.
Yeah.
But is that MS or is that ADHD?
Mm-hmm.
Inability to pay attention, MS or ADHD. So it's a lot of comparisons. But when you look at the test specifically for ADHD, they point it out so very well because the doctor can then show the result like, okay, you are in the 95th percentile of this.
Mm.
Okay, you're in the tooth. You're in the tooth. You're in the second percentile of this one. So the way that those average out. Hannah, did you take the test before diagnosis?
I took like a simple test. It wasn't anything extravagant. It was maybe 10, 15 questions. And then
Did you have to circle twos and sevens?
I don't think so.
Well, if you would have, you would definitely know what I'm talking about.
Oh, well,
Okay.
well, you'd be surprised. Well, you might not be surprised, actually. My brain does not
No,
remember.
it was like a series of just lines of random numbers and letters, and they had to go through them, 3 lines in a block, and then 6 blocks to a page. And before you got done with the first line, he's like, "Okay, switch," and then he's trying to like piss you off with it, like trying to see how
Oh,
easily you become
okay.
frustrated with doing the same thing, but
No, I didn't
different.
take that.
Because yeah,
Huh.
look for the uppercase T's and Q's, which look like sevens and twos, kind of. It was diabolical. I just didn't know if you had that test as well.
No, I honestly, now that you've described it, I feel like I would remember it actually because
Yeah.
it sounds fun. I feel like it
Um,
sounds fun. Like a
and
little.
also, Andrea, some of them are like really the same as depression, where it's,
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many things that are intermixed that one of it is like uh, childhood trauma, like how you're dealing with that and what you developed to get through that.
Hmm.
Like a lot of the questions were like super duper, very personal kind of things. Um, but there's some general things like can't keep a calendar. Like that's like a meme of ADHD. And then the other stuff, just not. It's all different in different ways. There's like 15 different things that could be it, along
Hmm.
with MS. You know,
Okay.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we're on baseline, and we know that cognitive things can trend this way versus the other way with people with ADHD and MS. Because I've actually personally read a study where it said that 30% of people with diagnosed ADHD see an increase in symptoms after they're diagnosed with MS gradually. But is that ADHD or is that MS? You
Or is
know,
it
like,
a little bit of one and a little bit of the other?
yeah. So what we're going to try to do is I'm going to sort them out. I'm really interested in sorting out those two things
That's interesting.
because, yeah. So that's what I have. Andrew, do you have any other questions about that?
Well, so you're going to see somebody, it's a psychiatrist or a
It's
psychologist?
a psychiatrist. He can prescribe medicine.
Are you
Mhm.
seeing a psychologist?
No. They can discuss like the exact same things. Just one can medicate for it, the other one can't. An ologist
Yeah, but
cannot.
I thought usually the psychiatrists don't really do much talk therapy.
Oh yeah, no, that's all on the table with him and I.
Okay,
I think it just depends on the psychiatrist. Yeah.
Yeah, I
okay,
just know that he can prescribe medicine. I don't know what like his personal like treatment style is yet. But I
okay.
will I will definitely know that, and I'll remember to bring that up.
Just as the one that you felt really comfortable with.
Oh, she was neither. She had a master's degree in therapy, which is different than a PhD in psychology or psychiatry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She even
So
calls herself
she,
she's like, oh yeah, I only have the 2-year degree. Like, what? No.
So she's a therapist?
Yep. When most people say
Okay.
they're a therapist, they are like a master's degree. And think about it. All doctors want to display all their fucking letters and numbers after the name as possible.
Yep.
So yeah.
Okay. So
Psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist.
is that who you're seeing tomorrow then? The licensed
Yes.
therapist?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yep.
That makes sense now.
No. You're seeing the psychiatrist, you said, right?
Hold
Oh,
on.
you're saying goodbye to your therapist tomorrow, right?
Yes,
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I'm seeing Jim. That's his name. Jim. They
After
call it
school
Jim.
on Friday.
Jim. But I see him the beginning of February.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That'll
so
be
the one
virtual.
you see in the beginning of February is the one that you really liked, and he's new, but you've met him and you really liked him.
Yep.
And you can't see both of them because your insurance won't cover two.
I personally don't see the use for a therapist because I'm going to get the same thing from,
Gotcha.
I mean, if I could connect my dentist into like my urologist and stuff, yeah, clean them up, pee it out, let's do it. Same office. But yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Well, good luck. I hope to follow this story.
Yeah. Melissa said that quitting a therapist or a psychiatrist is the hardest thing to do.
It
But
can be.
the hardest thing to do is to hit a round bat with a round ball. Yeah, absolutely. Hearts all around. Let's get who is next? I'm done.
All
Well,
right.
I'd love to talk. Sharon, though, I can say a lot, okay? Because I wanted to continue the ADHD discussion because I feel like I have like a similar but also very different experience. But Sharon, I don't want to take time from you, okay?
Well, Sharon, go
I'm
ahead.
just listening.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
I'm basically having a bad day and thought I'd come on and, I don't know, hear other people having bad days. I don't know.
Oh, physically, I feel like shit today.
Yeah.
Same.
I had trouble like standing up out of bed. I've had trouble with like some shaky transfers today. Yeah. Like the best part of my day is I took a
Night was
shower
a
this
full
morning.
moon.
There
Everyone
you
knows how
go.
big of a shower is.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I'll feel better with this. Thank you.
We'll get into it, yes, Sharon. Just give it time.
Thank you.
Well,
My
did you want we go ahead, Hannah?
yeah. Well, I guess I can explain my experience with the whole is it mental health journey that I've been on this year. I feel like the theme for this year has been mental health, well, mostly mental health, but also physical therapy because
Yeah,
I've been to physical therapy too quite a lot. So
I will
both
be
of
right
those,
back. I'm still listening though, okay?
yeah. Both of those have been huge, like have taken up a huge portion of my time. There was a time during the summer, maybe like between July and like September, no, October and November, all of that time, I was having at least one appointment somewhere every week or every other week. So it's finally started to slow down quite a bit. So anyway, the psychiatry thing, I'm actually really excited that I got diagnosed with ADHD because finally I have a direction that I can go into because you always just you're not supposed to, but you always just kind of assume that it's MS that's destroying your brain and your capacity to function and think. But it's not MS this time. Well, at least I don't think it's MS this time, okay? Still in the experimentation phase, but we're getting answers. So here's how it started. The way it works with the healthcare system that I go to, they have you see the psychiatrist for like an hour, maybe an hour, 15 minutes. They really rush you. I did not like that. They really rushed me, and I had a big problem with that. I don't know, Louie, I don't know if you know this, but it's the UT Health System here in town. So yeah, their mental health services are packed. So anyway, I didn't have very much time with the psychiatrist, so I wasn't really sure if he was going to get the correct diagnosis or not. But it seems like he's doing pretty well. So he handed me off to the PA after that. There's a psychiatry PA that I go to see, and I have to go see him every 2 to 3 months to check on how I'm doing and check on the dosage of the medication that he's been giving me. So I'm still on. I've been on Wellbutrin, so that's been for like my mood, so I'm not so like mad all the time. So Wellbutrin has been one that I've been on for quite a while now. But then I recently started taking Zoloft, and as for like the ADHD medication, he started me off on Vyvanse, and that was I didn't like Vyvanse at all, and honestly, I don't really think it worked for me. But it was all about finding the right dosage of those 3 medications. So it's like, do I need to increase Vyvanse and maybe lower another one? Maybe do I need to keep Vyvanse the same? Maybe I need to like switch up the other medications, and just kind of see how I do with those medications, because my main concerns, things that I wasn't really able to get past no matter what I was doing on my own, was the anxiety, and the inability to concentrate. And memory, yes, memory has been a problem too. But those 2 things were my biggest issues. So anxiety, anxiety and what is it? The inability to pay attention, which in my opinion, I think that what comes with the inability to pay attention is also the inability to organize too. I just feel like I'm not very smart. Like I'm not a smart person when it comes to organizing my things. But it also doesn't help that I get so tired. I just get so like worn out just from doing the smallest bit of cleaning, the smallest bit of like organization. Even if I'm not moving around a whole lot, it's like my mental energy is sucking out my physical energy. So I can't.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
is that fatigue because of the ADHD, or is it because of the MS? Or is it compounded between both of them?
Well, the answer to that question still hasn't really manifested yet. No, still
Okay.
not quite sure. However, I do know now that after switching off of Vyvanse and moving on to a different medication called modafinil, I feel so much better. I feel like I have energy now. Like, and with that energy comes the ability to think. And it's like this medication, I'm so happy that I'm on it now because I just feel a million times better. And I still, feel fatigued, at times, but like this medication has been a lifesaver for me. It's been a game changer for me. So, and I feel like I might be on a dosage that it works for me right now. I mean, I might be able to increase it a little bit because I feel like I'm still really fidgety all the time. If you watch me in any of the videos that I make for AnCan or anything, I'm always moving. Like I'm always just doing something. So that's the
Your art is kinetic.
it very much is though. Yeah, you can you can really see it. Yeah. And I am happy that I'm able to actually embrace that now, in my art. So, that's it's been a win for me. But yeah, it's been a long, like, I don't want to be like cheesy and say journey, but it has been a long journey. just sort of like figuring out my mental health and figuring out what works for me, but also what doesn't work for me. Because um, I would like, in an ideal world, I would like for something like meditation to work for me. I would like for, I don't know, eating healthy all the time to work for me. It really doesn't, though. Hold on. Sorry. That's my alarm for my pie.
Because meditating allows you to think more, which is the worst part of what we need.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Like
I
that's
don't want,
not really, it does help me to slow down a little bit, but for like 2 minutes.
yeah,
For 2
yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
So, so just on the meditation, it's supposed to be a little bit of an exercise on focus, I think. So they talk a lot about paying attention to your breath, right?
Mm,
The in and the out. So what you're doing is focusing on something, and you always have your breath. So that's easy to take with you so you can meditate anywhere.
mhm.
And if you can only do it for 2 minutes, then do it for 2 minutes. And it's like exercise. After a while, you'll get up to 5 minutes and 10 minutes. So it's trying to calm all
Mm,
that's in your brain by focusing it on just your breath. So you're not, don't kill yourself if don't worry about it too much if those thoughts come into your brain, but just acknowledge them and let
mhm.
them go and bring your focus back to your breath. And
Yeah,
that
and
One one
usually
thing,
that'll help calm a lot of that noise down.
and one thing that works for me with that, Hannah, is I involve a process. Like for
oh,
me, something that I do to keep my hands from fidgeting or whatever. Not gonna lie about it, I roll a joint. The act of grinding it,
oh,
of getting a filter, being ever so gentle and careful, just right there. So like
yeah,
maybe something's, I don't want to say like that, but something for your hands to
to
do,
keep my
like
hands busy. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, for me,
So I was,
art is that for me, you know.
okay,
But what?
I was,
Yeah.
so I don't think you have to sit still to meditate either. I was
Mm,
talking to my massage therapist, and she mentioned that she, because I was talking about talking. She's like, it's your massage. You can talk if you want to. But she said, some people don't want to. They want to just concentrate on the massage, which is what I often do. But she was saying that even she begins to meditate as she's giving the massage. That she's just fully concentrating on what she's
mm,
doing, being present in the moment, feeling the muscles as she's pressing past them. So, Hannah, I would think for you that you might, whether you realize it or not, you might meditate yourself just naturally when you're working on your art.
yeah,
You're
and
just
that is.
concentrating on what you're doing.
Mhm. That is
yeah,
something that I was gonna say, that for me that is my art, and especially the more kinetic art that you had mentioned, John. I'm just using your word again. It's a good word. But just being able to focus my thoughts onto something else, which is exactly what you're talking about. So I guess for me, sometimes it just feels like I need a lot of that. And I don't always prioritize myself enough to get to do that. Because, when you're
um,
living life and things call your attention, like the pie that's over there that I have to go and take out of the oven. So I'm going to take you guys with me. So keep on going.
um, I feel like most of you've probably heard of the book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
I have heard of that.
It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with fixing a motorcycle. It's all about the zen that you get when you just wrench on something
Yeah.
I know that wrenching on something is not my zen, except when it's on miniature cars, but it's the same thing. Like, it's doing something with my hand, and then I end up so focused on it that I realize I'm like, oh wow, I've been like breathing really slow for the past 6 minutes. So I was
Right.
just kind of speaking to what Andrea said as well. Like, I try to do something that keeps me. It's weird that way I don't have super focus, but man, hyper focus, Andrew, that's another thing. Hyper focus,
Yeah.
another ADHD.
I'm gonna sit down here on the ground because, well, maybe not.
Is that a pie on the ground?
Maybe,
You should
possibly.
open your window to see if any cats. The cats like smell the smell to come into your house.
Well, my current cats, they do smell it, so they're constantly bothering me for food. One of them thinks he's always starving, and he's the biggest cat. So anyway, there's this one right here. This type of artwork that I've been trying to do a lot more is motion, trying to paint motion.
That's nice.
And this is what gets me to concentrate. This is what really brings my focus back down, back
That's
to.
really cool, Hannah.
Thank you. And this one too, like this is a new series right here that I want to do more of.
Mm,
The
Nice.
mountain, but it's like,
wow.
of course, I'm inspired by Vincent van Gogh, of course.
Of course.
There's a type of mixed media that I'm working on, Hannah. It's called
Uh-huh.
an altered book. Have you ever heard of one of those?
Altered book. Possibly.
Okay,
What do you think
so
of
it's
it?
where you take an older book. The one that I'm
Uh-huh.
taking right now is a chemistry book from the 50s. So something that's outdated for me in science feels good to rip up. And then you go through the book, and let's say you tear out 25 pages. Then you glue the next 25 together. So you make thicker small pages, and then you do different art on each page. Like
Okay.
for Melissa and I's, like, for her birthday, I did something like Our Story Is Just Starting. Since she's an educator, I did some tracing around her favorite book, blah, 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 stuff like that. So it's a really cool thing because you just also use stuff like, we call it ephemera, like just stuff that we want to somehow art with.
Yeah, see, I love doing that though. Like just
Yeah.
experimenting with different things. That's really what gets me going. That gets me thinking properly actually. Just experimenting with different things and trying to like tinker, I guess, with different supplies, maybe different things that are not really traditional. That's what really gets me going personally. And that's been something that I've been trying to shift my focus to now because, like we, as people, right? People, especially with people with kids around too, like you tend to just kind of push your own things to the back burner in order to pay attention to everybody else. And so I haven't really been prioritizing my own art for me, you know, the art that I make for me. And that's what I'm really, really trying to push for this year. I guess you could kind of say that's my New Year's resolution, but I don't like using that word resolution. But yeah, and in fact, a little side side thing that I've been wanting to do for a while now, because for the past 2 years I've been saving bottle caps, like plastic bottle caps. And so I have a huge amount of plastic bottle caps, and I want to create something with it. I don't know what I'm gonna make, but it just amazes me what a family of four what kind of garbage a family of four can produce. It's just
Hannah,
mind blowing.
the high school that I worked at, their art class did that. And since they're on a
Mm.
reservation, a lot of it had to do with Native American art as well. So a lot of brought in like beer tops, and they made them to signify that everyone in the area thinks that Native American are all drunkards, like they only drink all this beer and stuff. It was really poignant from like a teacher point of view, like, oh my God, these are my little kids that think of this stuff. But yeah, they called it Pop Top Alley. It was about 100 feet long on 8 by 8 like paneling.
100 feet long? Did I hear that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, oh yeah. We were on 80 acres of land and we tried to do art all over it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hannah,
God.
I think you should make a dress out of the bottle caps.
That would be so interesting. I've and that's funny that you mentioned that because I've been wanting to get into sewing also because I
Oh,
have a sewing machine that I just haven't picked up. Like somebody gave it to me and I just haven't used it. So
wow.
funny you should say that.
Hannah.
Um, uh-huh.
Um, so the friend of mine that was doing some of the sewing, she's Native American and she's actually won some national awards because she
Wow.
made an Indian headdress out of garbage from the expressway right on the off ramp from the reservation, and that
Interesting.
that won her like a really big national thing. And then also she made a jingle dress out of pop tops. I'm sorry, out of beer bottle tops.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so there's precedent to be said for you to do it as well.
Well,
Just
honestly, I have been wanting to explore my own like Hispanic heritage too, because you guys all know that Day of the Dead. It's one of the I love anything having to do with Day of the Dead. So I have to wonder if I could fuse the two ideas too. Um, but anyway, I don't want to get off topic from like the MS stuff, but these are amazing ideas. And John, I'd love to get the name of your friend in a little bit, like
I
maybe
can do
after
that, G.
this.
I'll send it to you on Facebook.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, she is now a professor at the Native American, they call it the Indian College in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. So yeah, I can get you her name and everything.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Not a
It's just
problem.
it's all about exploring new pathways, I guess. At least that's been part of my mental health journey, exploring new ways to tackle that mental health because the things that I had been trying to do or just doing in the past haven't completely worked for me. So, with this whole, I guess, journey of trying these new medications and going to therapy, like actually talking to like a licensed therapist now, is has been so helpful. It's just been um, probably one of the best things that I've done for myself this whole year. So
That's
yeah,
really
there's that.
good.
And, hmm?
That's really good to hear that that's helped you, and that that's something that's kind of it's a work in progress, or it's a journey, like you said. So
Work in progress. Yeah. Ooh, speaking of, because I mentioned physical therapy, right?
yes.
I got this new device that I really wanted to show you guys.
All right. Yes, please.
I have to go get it, so I will be back. But I've been going to physical therapy for headaches, but also neck pain and shoulder pain and jaw pain that leads into those headaches. And I just got like a device from Amazon that's been I've only had it for a few hours. I literally got it today and I'm already raving
Oh
about
my
it.
God, I want to know what it is because I have all those things.
You have all the things. Okay, hold on. I'll be back.
Yes, please.
Rick's back. Hello.
Well, in the interim, Louis, do you wanna take a moment to talk, or do you wanna wait for Hannah to come back?
Sure. Yeah, it was really short. It's about it's like I swear every 6 months I'm just caught off guard on Ocrevus. I think maybe just was curious and I feel like I always ask the same question. Um, it's really kind of about the notorious crap gap, as they say. Um, because I'm used to like regular fatigue, but I will, man, like this year, So I'm due for my infusion the January 23rd, and but like by January 2nd or 3rd, like man, it just super hit me, and it's just like feels just like you just took way too much melatonin or something, and just you can't sleep it off. And so I was just wondering if because there's so much to read up on that, that it's not real and stuff. So I try not to buy into it, but it feels pretty real.
Wouldn't
So
have
I'm
a
just
name
curious.
like Crap Gap if it
Mm.
wasn't real, so
Mhm.
don't listen to that. Um, are are you against trying Kesimpta? I've heard
Um,
that since it's taken on a more regular basis, um, that people don't experience the crap gap so badly. Have you
yeah,
talked to your neurologist about it?
yeah, I'm supposed to see her in February, and I've definitely thought about that, and I'm just like I'm almost scared to change something that's maybe not like, since I haven't shown any progression so far, um, it's a little
I
scary to
think they're
consider.
pretty close to the same
Mm,
medicine. I
nice.
wouldn't want to take it just because it's a self-injection every month,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't handle that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that would be, an issue for me personally. Um, but have you talked to your neurologist? He might have other options, other things like possibly, moving your shot just a little bit or your
Mhm,
infusion just a little bit closer, but that's usually, mandated
mhm.
by your insurance company. Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I'll definitely see if it's what we can do, because it kind of, that's the only downside. But other than that, it's pretty, other than that, the medicine's working. But it's
So
hard
you
to
you're about 3 weeks away from your next infusion.
now it's about one, so next Thursday, so next
Yeah,
week.
next Thursday. Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
wonder if your neurologist, if she would have any medication to just kind of
Mm,
boost you, get you through that, that
hmm.
little lull. I know
That's so
Dan
true.
takes the Ocrevus, but he, that's funny, Louis. How long have you been on Ocrevus?
3 years. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Hmm.
Um, does anybody else
Yeah, I
take?
was on it.
Yeah, I'm
Did
on it.
did you notice
I
that or?
take
Yeah, I have I used to experience the crap gap, but I've been on Ocrevus for 6 years now, and I don't really feel that anymore personally. Um, but I was gonna ask you, Louis, because I think you've told me who your neurologist is. Is it
Hmm.
Dr. Reina?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Because I did mention to her, 'cause she's also my neurologist too, and I did mention to her about the crap gap for me and
Hmm.
how it affects me at that fifth month, almost like clockwork, exactly
Hmm.
at the 1 month mark, fifth month mark. So she talked about possibly changing me over to Briumvi, actually.
Hmm.
So I don't know if you want to mention that, ask her about it, see what she thinks. Um, and I don't remember why she recommended Briumvi for me, at least in the
Hmm.
future. But it'd be worth asking, I think.
Briumvi oral?
No, it's the infusion. So it's
What is an
if I
infusion as
remember,
well? Okay.
if I
And
remember
what's
correctly.
interesting is Sharon is taking
Right,
Briumvi.
right.
Oh,
What
you
is it,
are?
Sharon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, I'll definitely mention something, because it's I think I'll give it another, see how this summer goes and
Mhm.
see what happens. And it's because I'm always like, maybe it's just a fluke because I haven't been as active or something,
Mhm.
maybe it's just in
I
my
had that
head,
too,
but
Louis. No. It's
The
not just
same.
you.
and
Sharon?
it can get depressing.
Yeah.
Jennifer,
I
have
used
you
to
had
have,
Jennifer, have you had the chance to talk to Sharon about Briumvi yet? Maybe this is a good time to talk to her.
That's what I was just kind of waiting for.
She's waiting to
Yeah,
talk.
she's
Yeah,
waiting.
we can set. This was what I wanted to share, so I'm happy to pass. Yeah.
I used to have an issue with Tysabri, where that fourth week I was just exhausted, and anyway, it was bad, and it eventually wore off to where I was fine for the 4 weeks. But with Briumvi, I haven't had any issues with doing the 6 months. It's been fine so far. I've had like I think three infusions. So far so good.
Good.
My
Amazing.
doctor had taken me off Tysabri because of oh gosh, I forgot what the levels are that they always, anyway, because of some issue. And he really advocates for Briumvi because more people are health having less side effects with Briumvi than they were with Ocrevus.
Wow.
So far so good.
Yeah. That's
And
Isn't
amazing.
is
Briumvi like a biosimilar to Ocrevus?
It is. It is.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
the same. I forgot what you call it. I can draw a diagram. I just can't tell you what it is.
I
But
know what you
yes,
mean.
it affects the
They're very,
same
yeah,
cells. Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah,
right.
I remember that now. Yeah. It
Yeah.
affects the same B cells and T cells, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
think.
and do you get that every 6 months in an infusion?
Yes, I do.
All right.
So
And
loving that aspect of it.
and
Good. I'm
you
glad it's
tolerate
working.
it pretty well?
I'm sorry.
You tolerate it pretty well?
I do.
All right.
It's weird with Tysabri. I used to just feel exhausted afterwards. With the Briumvi, I'm not. So I'm kind of missing that downtime because I used to come home and sleep the rest of the day, and now I don't. So I'm kind of missing that.
Nobody needs to know.
And how long is
That's true. That's true.
how
Yeah.
long does the infusion take?
I'm sorry. What was that again?
How long does the infusion take?
Oh, it's the same as the Tysabri. I'm at the doctor's office about 3 hours, but
Okay.
the infusion itself is an hour.
All right.
So
A lot faster than
That's
Ocrevus.
very, yeah, really
Yeah.
fast.
that's what I hear. Yeah,
Mm,
works for me.
interesting. So maybe, like Hannah said, Louis, that would be something to talk to your neurologist about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. As I'm hearing you talk, Sharon, I take Rituxan, and my husband, who also has MS, takes Ocrevus. And we go to the same neurologist. And when we see her, I'm going to talk to her about, just, yeah, that's interesting if it's pretty effective and to look into that. So thank you. I was curious.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay,
The kids,
Louise.
I'm sitting here falling asleep, so I'm gonna say good night. It's good to see everyone.
Good night.
Bye,
Good to
Bye.
see
Andrea.
you.
Can I show
Take
you
care.
the thing I got real quick?
Ho-
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Love it.
Here. Just wanted to show
Well,
you real quick. It's a back massager. Oh, you have one Oh.
Oh.
So what do you
It's
do
like
with it?
you can massage your back, so
Pressure point.
yes, that's a better word. Pressure point massager.
Mhm.
So like you can use this little thing to, at least I use this little thing to like
All of the little nodes, like I
yeah.
use them on my legs and my back
Mhm.
and my shoulders, and it's like my best
Love
friend.
this thing.
It hooks right on the couch and stays there because I pull it out so much.
Yeah.
What's it called?
This it there's a brand, but I don't know. It just search for
Mine is
Theracane.
the Theracane.
Okay, I have like
Yeah,
an off brand, but I love it anyway. Let me type it
yeah.
in the chat. It's called
Yeah, Hannah,
Theracane.
can you put the Amazon link in the chat window for
Yeah,
that?
sure.
And also, before everybody goes, Hannah, would you give a plug to what you're going to do on the evening of the 22nd of January? Because everybody might, from you were talking about sewing and what have you, and I think you might get an audience. And also, it should go on the recording because people listening to the recording should know about what you're going to do.
Yeah. Okay. I can only do one thing at a time. Let me find the link real quick for the Theracane.
Find the link and then we'll talk, before
Yeah, just
Andrea
like
goes because I don't want
2
to lose
seconds. 2
more
seconds.
people. We already lost John, so he won't know about it.
Don't worry,
Oh,
I'll message him. But anyway,
Oh, you
Solo Arts Heal. Okay, so I'm actually going to be interviewing somebody who uh, does art, specifically weaving, with people in the hospital, so in outpatient centers. So people, usually it's people who are getting their cancer treatments. And actually Rick is normally the one who gives these interviews for Solo Arts Heal, but that's what I did do in when I work with a certain nonprofit here in town. I go into hospitals just like Jose. That's his name. His name is Jose, and work with patients. But he's different though because he has a really interesting thing that he does, and it's weaving. And so he teaches people right there in the outpatient center how to weave. And so during Solo Arts Heal, during that sessions, he's going to teach me how to weave, um, right there
Wow.
on camera, so you guys will be able to see my process. And at the same time, I'm also going to interview him and talk to him about what he does with patients, and just sort of his backstory too, so his
yeah,
superhero origin story. So I'm very
And
excited.
yeah. It's
when
will you?
is that going to be again, Hannah?
it's
January 22nd.
the
So
Wow.
next week.
the only
Live?
live, but it's
Yes.
late. Unfortunately, it's late, but it is recorded, so you'll be able to watch it because this is a program that you may remember I interviewed Hannah at one
Yes.
point, and you can look at the recording I did with Hannah, and Hannah painted something. I don't think you ever showed us the finished product from Solo Arts Heal,
It
Miss
gave me,
Hannah.
yeah, no, I didn't. It gave me a
It,
hard time. It's still
so
unfinished.
Oh, it's still unfinished. But
Uh-huh.
we interview people who have used the arts in some creative way to help their own healing.
Yes.
And Jose has this tiny little loom that he
Mhm.
uses. You can buy them. I don't know. We're gonna say he's got this tiny
Mhm.
little loom, and he goes into the hospitals, and people weave these little things. I mean, it finishes up like a postcard size,
They're
but
beautiful, yeah.
it's really cool. And we said, well, let's do that. And then when I thought about it, I thought, you know what? Hannah's much better going to be do a much better job interviewing him than I am because she relates to what he does. That's what she does. And so it's really it's exciting. I'll be watching. It's at 7:30 Pacific, which is 10:30 Eastern. So it's tough,
Eastern.
I know, for you guys on the East Coast, but it is posted afterwards on our webpage, our Solo Arts Heal webpage, and you'll find it there. But Carmen, you're on East Coast time, you're on West Coast time, so you'll be able to tune in at
Yep.
7:30 on the 22nd, and
Perfect.
anybody else who can make it, we'd love to see you. And you can ask questions. You can put questions in the chat window. So,
All
Yep,
right.
and
Putting it
chat
in my
Sharon is
calendar.
there too.
Speaking about it getting
Oh,
late, I don't want to
yes.
not get back to Christy and to Carmen so they can have a chance to talk. And I'm
Okay.
sorry that we're this far into this. Bye, Andrea. Good night. Hope you feel better.
night. Thank you.
Bye.
Good
And
night.
Christy, are you still with us?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Did you go ahead?
Well, I've come across a lot of frustration lately moving to Arizona. Um, I went to the Mayo Clinic and I'm supposed to start what's the word I'm looking for? Medicare. Um, it was supposed to start as of January 2020 or January 1st. Come to find out that the Mayo Clinic in Arizona no longer accepts Medicare Advantage plans. They only take the Part B or Part A and Part B. And if you want to do a supplemental, it has to be separate. It can't be attached to your Medicare plan. So that's really frustrating. So now and I haven't even started looking because I'm still waiting for the government to process through my Part B. So I've looked, but I haven't been able to set up any appointments. But I have my infusion that was due yesterday. I have my baclofen pump that's due by the end of the month. And the only thing I've found is a wound care doctor, and I've only seen him 2 times, but now I have no insurance. And so I'm like stuck in this loop of not being able to go to doctors right away because Mayo Clinic doesn't take Medicare Advantage anymore. And so I'm just running into a lot of brick walls and frustration.
So let me see if I can navigate you a little bit on this. I don't think that it's ever been easy to get into Mayo with Advantage. If you have traditional Medicare, you can go. I know
Right.
for certain you can go, but traditional Medicare is like a F or a G plan and a separate drug plan. So I think that when you move, you may be allowed to switch from Advantage to traditional Medicare.
I don't have any. I've never like this year is supposed to be my first year to do Medicare.
Okay, so have you signed up for an Advantage plan?
No, because we can't
Okay.
sign up for anything until my Medicare gets processed through.
Okay, so once your Medicare is processed, you don't have Medicare Advantage.
No,
Right.
but
So Mayo will take you with Medicare, but don't sign up for an Advantage plan. Do you have a Medicare broker? Do you have an
no.
insurance broker that can help you choose your Medicare?
Yes.
Okay. In Arizona or back in Colorado?
She's licensed in Colorado and in Arizona. She's
Okay.
licensed in many states.
So she should be able to help you figure out which Medicare plan you should. She should not be advising you to do an Advantage plan if you want to go to Mayo, because you
Well,
you
Mayo has specifically told me that they only take the red, white, and blue, meaning Part A and Part B. That's it.
no, they don't. I know they don't because Mike Pettipool goes there with Medicare.
Yeah, and
So
that's
so there's some sort of a misunderstanding here. in terms of how you can get yourself covered. But I think that Kim is on Medicare, and
Yeah,
Kim
but she goes to the Rochester Mayo.
doesn't
MAO.
matter. Rochester Mayo will be no different. If Rochester Mayo accepts Medicare, Phoenix Mayo accepts Medicare.
No, yeah, they accept, like I said, they accept just traditional. They don't accept Medicare Advantage.
Yeah, but why are you stuck on Medicare Advantage, Christy? Why do you have to
I'm
have
not. I'm not. It's just that's
so why
that's
can't you get traditional Medicare? It's not
because
A and B. A and B is different. A and B is basically sort of for hospitalization, but then you have
A
to get a sub,
is A
and
is
B is
is
for
the
other
medical.
Medicare services, but then it only covers a percentage, and you have to pay 20%, and then you can choose either Advantage or a traditional Medicare plan like F or G. So why are you reverting to Advantage if when they take F or G?
Because honestly, Rick, is because we can't afford the 20%.
Okay, but that's why you have the insurance. The insurance is FOG. Now you have to pay for that insurance each month. So maybe you can't afford the premiums for FOG, and maybe you can afford the premiums for Advantage. But if you're that low income, there's also a supplementary plan for F and G that you can talk about. And they will give you, but again, this is why I have a very good broker down here in the Tucson area,
Mm-hmm.
um, and and I just had to switch my plan. But I guess what I'm saying to you is you can go to Medicare, you can go to Mayo, but you can't go to Mayo with Medicare Advantage. They don't participate in any of those HMOs.
Right.
Now, again, I get it if you can't afford the premiums for F and G, but you've got to look at how that can be supplemented and what you can find. Triage Cancer, it's Triage Health now, can be really helpful for you on that. I can refer you to my guy down here, but um, but if you feel that you can only afford care through Advantage, you won't be able to go to Mayo.
Right. And with the Advantage, it's a $0 premium
Yeah,
on
but you
top.
get what you pay for. It's a $0 premium. You're absolutely right, but you're also restricted in the doctors that you go to.
Oh, the one I'm going to is a PPO. The plan she was discussing with me is a PPO.
Okay, so but you can't get to Mayo on it, so you have to go to another MS neurologist outside of Mayo.
Right, and it's difficult to find one down here. The one that specializes in MS.
Well, we know that. I think there are others in the Phoenix area, but that's why we navigated Mike Pettipool to Mayo because he sees Carter there. Carter's pretty good.
Well,
Mayo's been pretty good for him.
that's who I was set up to see because I saw Carter back in 2021, and me coming back down here, I saw him while I was still like recently, um, while I was under my husband's insurance, which is uh, like a corporate group plan, not part of Medicare Advantage. So they take
Yeah, but
those.
again, you can is your husband still part of that group plan?
Yes, but at the same time, um, his company got bought out, so
Okay, is he currently? Is he current? There's always yes buts, but is he currently part of that plan, and does he have insurance?
Yes,
So
but
that means that that plan can be extended to you to cover to cover the Medicare gap. They will cover the Medicare gap. So we've got people who are on Medicare and they're on corporate plans and they dovetail together. But you have to talk to the HR people and ask them how will they dovetail with. So I think it goes that Medicare becomes the secondary, so you can still keep being covered by his insurance like you were before.
I
And at
understand
this
that.
point in time, Carmen, aren't you happy that you live in Canada?
No kidding. Yeah, exactly. Another example of why we will not be becoming a 51st state. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but you know what, Carmen? Yes, until people start complaining that they can't get the coverage that they need in Canada, and that happens all the time, and they wish they were in the United States, and we see that all the time because you
I'm
can't
not
get
saying it's perfect.
you
I'm
can't
not
get
saying
the
it's perfect.
coverage that we have in the United States. If you put Americans in Canada, they'd revolt over their health care.
Well,
They wouldn't accept it. But you know what? To go back to Christy, Christy, I don't think I don't think that moving to Phoenix and you going on to Medicare should prevent you from figuring out a way to continue to be covered. I mean, why are you going? Is there a reason you're going on to Medicare right now?
Uh, because when you're on disability after 2 years, it's mandatory.
No, it's not. You don't have to. You don't have to go on. You don't have to go on. You can stay on. You're eligible to go on after 2 years, but you don't have to go on. I think you have to go on before. I think it's 65 is when it's mandatory, or it gets more expensive. But talk again to your broker. I feel like you're not getting the right advice, and it's putting you in a tiz. And if you could stay on the insurance that you were on before, you'd be able to get back. You'd be able to get back to Mayo on your husband's insurance like you did before.
Right. The problem with that is that he already went through his enrollment through his work. So I really don't believe that they would be able to enroll me back in.
Well, why
'Cause
don't you find out? Because you don't
yeah,
have coverage right now.
goodbye, Sharon. Thank you for joining us.
bye, Sharon.
All
It's
right,
nice
Sharon,
meeting you.
thanks for
Hope to
coming in.
see you again. Bye bye.
You don't have the coverage right now. You need the coverage. I expect you can still be enrolled, and you can continue the way that you were, and you defer your Medicare until you need it.
And
Or
Christy, do you feel that you have some places to reach out to get answers to some of these questions? I mean, is Rick kind of pointing you in the right direction, or are there resources somewhere that you can go?
Well, I
Are
mean,
you
I'll speak with my broker, and also um, I'll have my husband talk to his HR department to see if there's any way I can get back on. Um, Even though he dropped me and seeing if he can bring me back on. Um, I don't know if they can. Um,
okay,
but
failing that, then you need a G plan. You need an F or a G plan, which will allow you to go to Mayo, but you have to pay the premium. I mean, I assume you were paying your husband was paying a premium for you. It wasn't free.
right,
He had to pay an additional premium, right?
yeah, we were paying like almost $500 a month.
Okay, well, I doubt that the F or the G plan is going to cost you that much. It might do, but I doubt it. I know what it. I know it. I'm older, so it would be less, but it didn't. My G plan that I just purchased, my F plan was around 200. But this is where you got to do the shopping, and maybe you can get onto a plan. Now, if you don't want that expense at all, period, paragraph, then you have to make do with an Advantage plan. And if you make do with an Advantage plan, you may not be able to get to a specialized MS dog. So you only you can make that trade off. But what I'm saying is, I your inability to get to Mayo right now can be resolved, but you are going to have to pay a premium each month.
Like I said, I'll talk to my broker and I'll have my husband speak with his company.
Okay.
See.
And
If,
Christy, did you have, I mean, do you feel, is there any other, I mean, I don't want to belittle your experiences, but I just wanted to make sure, we haven't seen you in a while and just you've been through a lot moving to Arizona and everything. So just we're kind of getting at the end of the evening, and I'm sorry that we kind of, it's at the end. Did you have anything more you wanted to talk about?
no, that's it for now.
Okay. And Carmen, again, I apologize. It's kind of late in the evening. Do you want to talk with us right now?
No, it's just way too much to start right now. So next time.
Okay. And the next meeting will be an afternoon meeting. We're meeting again. Let me look at my calendar. We're meeting again on the 28th of January at 1:30. And I would say I can send that we should start the meeting with you, Carmen. Again, I apologize that it's
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm
no.
tired too. Don't worry about it. It's way too much to get into emotionally for me right now, so it's okay.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Well, just know we're all thinking of you, and yeah, if you
Yep.
okay.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. I'm just emotional. I'm tired. It's been I've had medical stuff like ongoing every week for the last couple weeks, and it's just I carry a lot of like empathy for everyone too. So by the end of these groups, I'm also just emotionally tired from thinking about all of you guys too. So it's not just about me. So anyway,
No.
You're a beautiful person, Carmen.
thank
Yeah,
you.
hold on a minute afterwards, Carmen, please.
hmm
Yeah.
Once the recording is done, I can talk a little bit.
Would you like me to turn the recording off? Does
Yeah.
If
anyone
we're at the
else?
end of our meeting, I think
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yes. Let's
How you
close the
doing,
meeting.
guys?
Close the meeting for the purpose of the
I'll
recording.
turn the recording off.